TikTok just took down my video that I did when I was in Palestine, and I interviewed a former member of Hamas. And they took down videos where I discussed my experience in, talking to Palestinians and how they felt about Hamas. And what really annoys me is that if I worked for MSNBC or CNN or BBC and I had done that interview with former members of Hamas, social media outlets like TikTok would not have took down that interview. But because I'm not paid for and owned by the powers that be, then I'm not allowed to upload those interviews that I did, because I'm an independent, documentarian and filmmaker. I'm not allowed to put those voices onto you guys, to spread those voices and to create some type of balanced form of information that we're receiving. One of the main reasons that social media platforms are now shadow banning accounts and taking down content, especially accounts that are speaking on the behalf of Palestinians, is because Israel is losing the social media war. For a long time, Israel has owned the narrative on what was happening with Israel and Palestine, okay? And this has been decades long. This is one of the main reasons why we're still seeing comments from people saying they're really confused about what's happening with Israel and Palestine. And it's because Israel completely owns the narrative. And then they get backed and co-signed by the European Union and the US. And so when that happens, it becomes very difficult to understand, hey, what's happening to those people? And this is really critical, because we're at a junction where we might be going against the people who are actual victims, okay? We might be going against and being complacent as people are being genocide. This is a very critical moment. I think it's really important that right now we viciously and fiercely question and investigate what it is that the media and the powers that be and the establishments and the schools and the companies, our employers or whatever, are trying to shove down our throats. We need to be able to dissect that, because it's not matching up to what's actually happening on ground, okay? They're trying to make it seem like this situation, that the Hamas attacks just happened, last week, but it didn't. This has been going on for years. You put a group of people in an open air prison. And so it's so important that we are able to request and demand to have balanced form of information. And the media is not doing that. They are completely silencing Palestinians. And this is one of the reasons why I began my documentary. It was to spotlight communities that are silenced. And there's so much pain in these communities. And at this point, now we are watching people be exterminated. I think right now it is so important for people who live in the West to take action. Because right now what we're seeing is that there is imbalance of power that we're seeing in the world. And now it's becoming to the point where there is so much unchecked power that we are seeing an extermination of an entire group of people. And the media and the powers that be are completely ignoring it, and they're gaslighting us. And we need to be demanding the opportunity to be able to have balanced sources of information. And so when TikTok, which is now one of the very few opportunities for us to get the truth out there, begins to shadow ban us, this means that we are truly not free. And that is the foundation of America, is that we have free speech and that we are free, but truly we are not. This right here is proof. This is something that really makes me feel worried. And I think everyone should be worried.